Good morning. Welcome to this morning's sacred space and Swadhyaya, as I'm now calling it. Morning, Nick. I hope you're all feeling rested and thank you for giving yourself this space. Please say hi and where you're tuning in from if you haven't already, and please say hello to each other. So we'll start by, I'm going to read today's day from the Spiritual Diary, which is Words of Paramahansa Yogananda, and this was created by the Self-Realization Fellowship. So we'll see what, and of course this message is for everyone, no matter when you listen to this. I will prepare for the coming of the omnipresence. Hi Atik. I'll read that again. I will prepare for the coming of the omnipresent baby Christ by cleaning the cradle of my consciousness, now rusty with selfishness, indifference and sense attachments, and by polishing it with deep daily divine meditation, introspection and discrimination. I will remodel the cradle with the dazzling soul qualities of brotherly love, humbleness, faith, desire for God realization, willpower, self-control, renunciation and unselfishness, that I may fittingly celebrate the birth of the divine child. I'll read that again. I will prepare for the coming of the omnipresent baby Christ by cleaning the cradle of my consciousness, now rusty with selfishness, indifference and sense attachments, and by polishing it with deep daily divine meditation, introspection and discrimination. I will remodel the cradle with the dazzling soul qualities of brotherly love, humbleness, faith, desire for God realization, willpower, self-control, renunciation and unselfishness, that I may fittingly celebrate the birth of the divine child. And if you're just tuning in, please say hi and where you're tuning in from, and please say hello to each other. And I'm going to read from Opening Doors Within as well today. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. How important these words are. You have heard them many times, but what have you done about them? What do they mean to you? Take time to ponder over them until they become living, vibrating words in your life. And you do feel yourself being transformed by the renewing of your mind. You talk of peace and harmony, of the new heaven and new earth, of doing my will, of love and light being radiated out into the world, and of moving into the new. But what are you actually doing about it? Are you living in such a way that you are helping to bring it about? Don't allow yourself to become like a parrot, saying things that mean nothing to you. Pray without ceasing for deeper and clearer understanding, and give thanks and move forward and upward. Above all, live a life and let things happen to transform your life. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, those that are just tuning in. Please say hi and where you're tuning in from. And I'm going to read out of this one this morning, which is Autobiography of a Yogi. So it's Paramahansa Yogananda, and I just shared from his daily diary that was created. So I'm going to have a look in here and just open it up. My solitary musings were interrupted by the sound of approaching footsteps. In the darkness. I'm going to have to move this a second. My solitary musings were interrupted by the sound of approaching footsteps. In the darkness, a man's hand gently helped me to my feet and gave me some dry clothing. "Come, brother," my companion said, "the master awaits you." He led the way through the forest. The sombre night was suddenly lit by a steady luminosity in the distance. "Can that be the sunrise?" I inquired. "Surely the whole night has not passed." "Morning, Diane. The hour is midnight." My guide laughed softly. "Yonder light is the glow of Golden Palace, materialized here tonight by the peerless Babaji. In the dim past you once expressed a desire to enjoy the beauties of a palace. Our master is now satisfying your wish, thus freeing you from the bonds of karma." He added, "The magnificent palace will be the scene of your initiation tonight into Kriya Yoga. All your brothers here join in a paean of welcome, rejoicing at the end of your long exile. Behold!" A vast palace of dazzling gold stood before us, studded with countless jewels, and set amidst a landscape garden. It presented a spectacle of unparalleled grandeur. Losing my voice. Saints of an angelic countenance. Saints of an angelic countenance were stationed by resplendent gates, half reddened by the glitter of rubies. Diamonds, pearls, sapphires, and emeralds, of great size and lustre, were embedded in the decorative arches. I followed my companion into a spacious reception hall. The odour of incense, of roses wafted in the air. Dim lamps shed a multicoloured glow. Small groups of devotees, some fair, some dark-skinned, chanted musically, or sat in the meditative posture, immersed in an inner peace. Good morning, AD. A vibrant joy pervaded the atmosphere. Feast your eyes, enjoy the artistic splendours from this palace, for it has been brought into being in your honour. My guide smiled sympathetically as I uttered a few ejaculations of wonderment. Brother, I said, the beauty of this structure surpasses the bounds of human imagination. Please tell me the mystery of its origin. I will gladly enlighten you. My companion's dark eyes sparkled with wisdom. In reality, there is nothing inexplicable about this materialization. The whole cosmos is materialized through thought of the Creator. The whole cosmos is materialized thought of the Creator. This heavy earthly clod floating in space is a dream of God. He made all things out of his consciousness. even as man in his dream consciousness produces and verifies a creation with its creatures. God first created the earth as an idea, then he quickened it, energy atoms came into being. Lost my place. Energy atoms came into being. He coordinated the atoms into this solid sphere. All its molecules are held together by the will of God. When he withdraws his will, the earth again will disintegrate into energy. Energy will dissolve into the consciousness. The earth idea will disappear from objectivity. Morning, EJ. The substance of a dream is held in materialization by the subconscious thought of the dreamer. When that cohesive thought is withdrawn in wakefulness, the dream and its elements dissolve. A man closes his eyes and directs a dream creation on which on awakening he effortlessly dematerializes. He follows the divine archetypal pattern. Similarly, when he awakens in cosmic consciousness, he will effortlessly dematerialize the illusions of the cosmic dream. Being one with the infinite, all-encompassing will, Babaji can summon the elemental atoms to combine and manifest themselves in any form. This golden palace instantaneously created is real, even as this earth is real. Babaji created this palatial mansion out of his mind and is holding its atoms together by the will of his power. By the will of his power, even as God created this earth and is maintaining it intact. He added, when the structure has served its purpose, Babaji will dematerialize it. As I remained silent in awe, my guide made a sweeping gesture. This shimmering palace, superbly embellished with jewels, has not been built by human effort or with laboriously mined gold and gems. It stands solidly, a monumental challenge to man. Whoever realizes himself as a son of God, even as Babaji has done, can reach any goal by the infinite powers hidden within him. A common stone locks within itself the secret of stupendous atomic energy. Even so, a mortal is yet a powerhouse of divinity. The sage picked up from a nearby table a graceful vase, whose handle was blazed with diamonds. Our great Guru created this palace by solidifying myriads of free cosmic rays. He went on, touch this vase and its diamonds. They will satisfy all the tests of sensory experience. I must say that this video actually links very nicely with the one that I created yesterday. So this is actually a follow-on from that one. Our great Guru created this palace by solidifying myriads of free cosmic rays, he went on. Touch this vase and its diamonds, they will satisfy all the tests of sensory experience. I examined the vase and passed my hand over the smooth room walls, thick with glistening gold. Each of the jewels scattered lavishly about was worthy of a king's collection. Deep satisfaction spread over my mind, a submerged desire, hidden in my subconsciousness from lives now gone, seemed simultaneously gratified and extinguished. My stately companion led me through the ornate arches and corridors into a series of chambers richly furnished in the style of an emperor's palace. We entered an immense hall, In the centre stood a golden throne encrusted with jewels, shredding a dazzling medley of colours. There, in lotus posture, sat the supreme Babaji. I knelt on the shining floor at his feet. Lahiri, are you still feasting on your dream desires for a golden palace? My guru's eyes were twinkling like his own sapphires. Wake! All your earthly thirsts are about to be quenched forever. He murmured some mystic words of blessing. My son, arise. Receive your initiation into the kingdom of God through Kriya Yoga. Babaji stretched out his hand. A Homa, sacrificial fire, appeared. Surrounded by fruits and flowers, I received the liberating yogic technique before this flaming altar. The rites were completed in the early dawn. I felt no need for sleep in my ecstatic state and wandered around the palace, filled on all sides with treasures and priceless objects d'art. Descending to the gorgeous gardens, I noticed nearby the same caves and barren mountain ledges which yesterday had boasted no adjacency to palace or flowered terrace. Re-entering the palace, fabulously glistening in the cold Himalayan sunlight, I sought the presence of my master. He was still enthroned, surrounded by many quiet disciples. Lahiri, you are hungry, Babaji added. Close your eyes. And when I reopened them, the enchanting palace and its picturesque gardens had disappeared. My own body and the forms of Babaji and the cluster of Sheilas were all now seated on the bare ground at the exact site of the vanished palace, not far from the sunlight entrance of the rocky grottos. I recalled that my guide had remarked that the palace would be dematerialized, its captive atoms released into thought essences from which it had sprung. Although stunned, I looked trustingly at my guru. I knew not what to expect next on this day of miracles. The purpose for which the palace was created has now been served, Babaji explained. He lifted an earthen vessel from the ground. Put your hand there and receive whatever food you desire. As soon as I touched the broad, empty bowl, it became heaped with hot buttered fried luchi, curry, and rare sweet meats. I helped myself, observing that the vessel was ever filled. At the end of my meal, I looked around for water. My guru pointed to the bowl before me. Lo, the food had vanished, and in its place was water, clear as from the mountain stream. Few mortals know that the kingdom of God includes the kingdom of mundane fulfillments, Babaji observed. The divine realm extends to the earthly, but the latter, being illusory, cannot include the essence of reality. Beloved Guru, last night he demonstrated for me the link of beauty in heaven and earth. I smiled at memories of the vanished palace. Surely no simple yogi had ever received initiation into the august mysteries of spirit amidst surroundings of more impressive luxury. I gazed tranquilly at the stark contrast of the present scene, the gaunt ground, the skying roof, the caves offering primitive shelter. All seemed a gracious natural setting for the seraphic saints around me. I sat that afternoon on my blanket, hallowed by associations of past life realizations. My divine guru approached and passed his hand over my head. I entered the near Bikabalka samadhi state, remaining unbrokenly in its bliss for 7 days, crossing the successive strata of self-knowledge. I penetrated the deathless realms of reality. All delusive limitations dropped away. My soul was fully established on the eternal altar of the cosmic spirit. On the 8th day I fell at my Guru's feet and implored him to keep me always near him in this sacred wilderness. "My son," Babaji said, embracing me, "your role in this incarnation must be played on an outward stage. Prenatally blessed by many lives of lonely meditation, you must now mingle in the world of men. A deep purpose underlay the fact that you did not meet me this time until you were already a married man, with modest business responsibilities. You must put aside your thoughts of joining our secret band in the Himalayas. Your life lies in the crowded marts, serving as an example of the ideal yogi householder. The cries of many bewildered worldly men and women have not fallen unheard on the ears of the great ones," he went on. "You have been chosen to bring spiritual solace through Kriya Yoga to numerous earnest seekers. The millions who are encumbered by family ties and heavy worldly duties will take new heart from you. A householder like themselves, you must guide them to see that the highest yogic attainments are not barred to the family man. Even in the world, the yogi who faithfully discharges his responsibilities without personal motive or attachment treads the sure path of enlightenment. No necessity compels you to leave the world, for inwardly you have already surrendered its every karmic tie. Not of this world, you must yet be in it. Not of this world, you must yet be in it. Many years still remain during which you must conscientiously fulfill your family, business, civic and spiritual duties. A sweet new breath of divine hope will penetrate the arid hearts of worldly men. From your balanced life, they will understand that liberation is dependent on inner rather than outer renunciations. How remote seemed my family, the office, the world, as I listened to my Guru in the high Himalayan solitudes. Yet adamantine truth rang in his words. I submissively agreed to leave this blessed haven of peace. Babaji instructed me in the ancient rigid rules which govern the transmission of the yogic art from guru to disciple. Bestow the Kriya key only on qualified chelas, Babaji said. He who vows to sacrifice all in the quest of the divine is fit to unravel the final mysteries of life through the science of meditation. Angelic Guru, as you have already favoured mankind by resurrecting the lost Kriya art, will you not increase that benefit by relaxing the strict requirements for discipleship? I gaze beseechingly at Babaji. I pray that you permit me to communicate Kriya to all seekers, even though at first they cannot vow themselves to complete inner renunciation. The tortured men and women of the world, pursued by the threefold suffering, need special encouragement. They may never attempt the road to freedom if Kriya initiation be withheld from them. Be it so. The divine wish has been expressed through you. With these simple words, the merciful Guru banished the rigorous safeguards that for ages had hidden Kriya from the world. Give Kriya freely to all who humbly ask for help. After a silence, Babaji added, Repeat to each of your disciples this majestic promise from the Bhagavad Gita. Swalpam yasa, dharma yasa, trayata, mahato, bioyat. Even a little bit of the practice of this religion will save you from dire fears and colossal sufferings. As I knelt the next morning at my Guru's feet for his farewell blessing, he sensed my deep reluctance to leave him. There is no separation for us, my beloved child. He touched my shoulder affectionately. Wherever you are, whenever you call me, I shall be with you instantly. Consoled by this wondrous promise, and rich with the newly found gold of God wisdom, I wended my way down the mountain. At the office I was welcomed by my fellow employees, who for 10 days had thought me lost in the Himalayan jungle. A letter soon arrived from the head office. Lahiri should return to the Danpur office, it read. His transfer to Raniket occurred by error. Another man should have been sent to assume the Raniket duties. Good morning, Val. Good morning, Patricia. I smiled reflectingly on the hidden cross-currents in the events which had led me to the furthermost spot of India. Before returning to Danapur, I spent a few days with a Bengali family at Morabad. A party of 6 friends gathered to greet me. As I turned the conversation to spiritual subjects, my host observed gloomily, "Oh, in these days India is destitute of saints." "Babu," I protested warmly, "of course there are still great masters in this land." In a mood of exalted fervour, I felt impelled to relate my miraculous experience in the Himalayas. The little company was politely incredulous. "Lahiri," one man said soothingly, "your mind has been under a strain in those rarefied mountain airs. This is some daydream you have recounted." Burning with the enthusiasm of truth, I spoke without due thought. "If I call him, my Guru will appear right in this house." Interest gleamed in every eye. It was no wonder that the group was eager to behold a saint materialized in such a strange way. Half reluctantly, I asked for a quiet room and 2 new woolen blankets. "The master will materialize from the ether," I said. "Remain silently outside the door. I shall soon call you." I sank into the meditative state, humbly summoning my Guru. The darkened room soon filled with a dim aural moonlight. The luminous figure of Babaji emerged. "Lahiri, do you call me for a trifle?" The master's gaze was stern. "Truth is for earnest seekers, not for those of idle curiosity. It is easy to believe when one sees. There is nothing then to deny. Supersensual truth is deserved and discovered by those who overcome their natural materialistic skepticism," he added gravely. "Let me go." I fell entreatingly at his feet. "Holy Guru, I realize my serious error. I humbly ask pardon. It was to create faith in these spiritually blinded minds that I ventured to call you. Because you have graciously appeared at my prayer, please do not depart without bestowing a blessing on my friends. Unbelievers though they may be, at least they were willing to investigate the truth of my strange assertions." "Very well, I will stay a while. I do not wish your word discredited before your friends." Babaji's face had softened, but he added gently, "Henceforth, my son, I shall come when you need me, and not always when you call me." Tense silence reigned in the little group when I opened the door. As if mistrusting their senses, my friends stared at the lustrous figure on the blanket seat. "This is mass hypnotism," one man laughed blatantly. "No one could possibly have entered this room without our knowledge." Babaji advanced smilingly and motioned to each one and touched the warm, solid flesh of his body, of his body. Doubts dispelled, my friends prostrated themselves on the floor in awed repentance. "Let halva be prepared." Babaji made this request, I knew, to further assure the group of his physical reality. While the porridge was boiling, the divine guru chatted affably. Great was the metamorphosis of these doubting Thomases into devout St. Paul's. After we had eaten, Babaji blessed each of us in turn. There was a sudden flash. We witnessed the instantaneous dechemicalization of the electronic elements of Babaji's body into a spreading vaporous light. The God-tuned willpower of the Master has loosened its grasp of the ether atoms, held together as his body. Forthwith, the trillions of tiny life-tronic sparks faded into the infinite reservoir. With my own eyes, I have seen the conqueror of death. Maitreya, one of the group, spoke reverently. His face was transfigured with the joy of his recent awakening. The Supreme Guru played with time and space as a child plays with bubbles. I have beheld one of the keys of heaven and earth. I soon returned to Danapur, firmly anchored in the spirit. Again I assumed the manifold business and family obligations of a householder. Lahiri Mayasaya also related to Swami Kebalaనంద. And Sri Yuktaswar the story of another meeting with Babaji under circumstances which recalled the Guru's promise, "I shall come whenever you need me." The scene was a Kumbh Mela at Allahabad. Lahiri Mayasaya told his disciples, "I had gone there during a short vacation from my office duties. As I wandered amidst the throng of monks and sadhus who had come from great distances to attend the holy festival, I noticed an ash-smeared ascetic who was holding a begging bowl. The thought arose in my mind that the man was hypocritical, wearing the outward symbols of renunciation without a corresponding inward grace. No sooner had I passed this ascetic man, my astounded eye fell on Babaji. He was kneeling in front of a matted-haired anchorite. "Guruji," I hastened to his side. "Sir, what are you doing here?" "I am washing the feet of this renunciate, and then I shall clean his cooking utensils." Babaji smiled at me like a little child. I knew he was imitating, that he wanted me to criticize no one, but to see the Lord as residing equally in all bodies, temples, whether of superior or inferior men. The great Guru added, "By serving wise and ignorant sadhus, I am learning the greatest of virtues, pleasing to God above all others, humility." Good morning, everybody. Welcome to those that may have missed the reading. I've just read from Autobiography of a Yogi, and I've just read something very beautiful. So please do watch the replay. Yes. And this video follows on really nicely from what we discussed yesterday. Such is divine timing in all things. So, and I struggled to read some of that, so I apologise for not being able to read it properly. Now let's bring ourselves right here, right now, into deep rest and meditation by making yourselves comfortable and warm and taking some deep breaths. As you breathe in, connecting deeply with your body, connecting with everything with each breath, and deepening into this space with each breath. As you let go a little bit more, breathing naturally, relaxed. As we allow ourselves with each breath to breathe in all the suffering in the world, consciously breathing in the suffering, as we breathe in the suffering, we breathe it into our hearts, and we allow it to transmute and transform. We're breathing in suffering, we're breathing out love and compassion. Breathing in suffering and breathing out love and compassion. We're breathing in suffering, our own suffering, the suffering of others. And as we breathe that suffering in, it transmutes and transforms in our heart. And we are able to share on the out-breath love and compassion. Allowing ourselves to be instruments of transmutation and transformation. Breathing in the suffering of the world. breathing out love and compassion. Breathing in suffering of the world. Breathing out love and compassion. Breathing in the suffering in the world. And breathing out love and compassion. Breathing in the suffering of the world. Breathing out love and compassion. Allowing your body to transmute and transform the energy of the suffering into love and compassion to fill the world with more love, more light, more truth. if you haven't done so already, you can gently open your eyes now. Much love. Thank you for joining me in this space. And thank you for giving yourselves this time. And thank you for supporting me in helping to transform some of the suffering in the world today, and blessing the world with love and compassion and presence. And if you're just tuning in, please do watch this replay from the beginning. I will be reposting it onto my wall, so thank you. Many, many blessings to you all. Much, much love. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.